sentence you to life in confinement without parole.
That's f***ing horse shit. You do whatever the f*** you want.
Why are they shutting my mic off?
I'm the federal witness of the United States federal government. I demand some goddamn respect, you. All I did was trespass on property.
Ma'am, you gotta create the community that you want to live in.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
All right, good afternoon. Can you hear me over there at the jail?
Yes, Your Honor.
Great. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Judge Unsavage. You're here for your first appearances. When I call your name, I need you to please come on up to the microphone, the one over there closest to the wall. I'm going to tell you the reason why you've been detained, whether or not there's probable cause for that detention, and what the conditions of your release will be, if any. I know the video was played. Hopefully you paid attention. It's really important information that is conveyed to you there to understand the process that you're going through today. If you were arrested on a warrant, that means another judge read the alleged facts and decided there was enough probable cause to issue the warrant. I'm not going to revisit the probable cause determination. I also don't typically change another judge's bonds, unless it's the type of a charge that preliminarily comes in as a zero, but then I'm obligated to consider setting a bond, and then of course I will consider it. But normally if there is a number there, please don't ask me to release you ROR and to change the other judge's number, because I typically don't do that. Again, unless it's a zero temporarily, and then I'm obligated to look at a reasonable bond, I definitely will consider it at that point. If we know your next court date, we'll tell you what it is. If we say on demand, that means it hasn't been scheduled yet. So please keep in touch with your lawyer or the clerk's office or both so that you don't miss your next court date. If you are still in custody before your next court date, we'll make sure you get transported. So hopefully that makes sense. We'll go from there. I'm going to do the Spanish, the out of counties, the warrants, and then the new arrests. Appearance of counsel for the state.
Justin Collins for the state, Your Honor.
Thank you. For the public defender.
Alexander Rosa.
From pretrial release.
Jonathan Marino.
Thank you. Can I please have Dominique Jara Sepulveda? The button would work.
Good afternoon. This is Francisca Perez Coutinho, a Spanish certified court interpreter, previously sworn.
Good afternoon. It's Judge Unsavage. I'm doing first appearances over at the jail.
Oh, Your Honor, this
Yes?
interpreter is not allowed to deal with those calls. Will you please call back? Thank you.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Laura Bretaña, Spanish interpreter, previously sworn.
Good morning, or good afternoon. It's Judge Unsavage. I'm doing first appearances over at the jail. Can you help us with that?
Yes.
Great. The first person is Dominique Jara Sepulveda, 22MM1024. If you can ask her if she can hear you, please.
Señora, ¿me escucha? Yes.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am, please say your name.
Señora, por favor, diga su nombre completo.
Dominique Siboney Jara Sepúlveda.
Dominique Siboney Jara Sepúlveda.
Thank you. Ma'am, you were arrested for petty theft.
Señora, usted fue puesto bajo arresto por hurto de menor cuantía.
I've read the affidavit and there is probable cause.
He leído el documento acusatorio y determino que existen indicios de criminalidad.
PTR, any history?
Al programa de libertad provisional le pregunto, ¿tiene antecedentes?
No, Your Honor, she has no prior history.
Ma'am,
No, su señoría, no tiene antecedentes.
ma'am, how long have you been in Florida?
Señora, ¿cuánto tiempo lleva usted en Florida? 7 months.
Okay. She qualifies for direct PTR, correct? Or no, she doesn't qualify for
No, Your Honor, she has an immigration
immigration hold. That's right.
¿Ella cumple con los requisitos del programa de libertad provisional o no? No cumple con los requisitos. Ella tiene una orden de retención de inmigración.
Well, I don't know if it's an order of immigration or a hold. It just says immigration status.
Bueno, no sé si es una orden de detención o exactamente qué parte del proceso, pero lo que dice aquí es seguimiento de inmigración.
Ma'am, your bond is going to be set at $500.
Señora, su fianza es de $500.
No return to any Walmart.
Se le prohíbe regresar a todos los Walmarts.
Do you need a public defender?
¿Necesita usted un abogado de oficio? Yes.
PD will be appointed provisionally.
Se designa provisionalmente al abogado de oficio.
Next court date will be? On demand.
Se determinará la fecha de la próxima audiencia más adelante.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Disculpo la pregunta.
I have a question.
Okay.
Diga.
¿Puedo pagar esa fianza?
Will I be able to pay the bond?
I don't know, will you?
Eso no lo sé yo. ¿Usted la puede pagar?
It's there for you if you wish to pay it and you're able to, yeah.
Si usted puede pagarla, está disponible para que la pague, sí.
Thank
Okay.
you. Alrighty. Does Mr. Solarte Alarcón need an interpreter? Alejandro Solarte, 22 MM 1026.
Your Honor, he's in detox right now. I'll ask for a reset on that case.
Okay, so he'll be reset. And that's all for Spanish, right?
I believe so.
Okay, thank you to the interpreter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next case, Troy Plant. It says it's a long-term lease and the registrant's name says Red Bull. Yeah, I don't get it. All right, I appreciate it. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name. I'm sorry, say your last name again? Okay. The mask made it a little hard to hear, so I wasn't sure if I heard you correctly. Mr. Plant, you were arrested on a warrant out of Polk County. They didn't give me a whole lot of details. The bond is set at 0, so you're not able to bond out. We're going to let Polk County know that we've got you, and they're going to come and pick you up and give you a ride, okay? All right, thanks. Roman Guzman. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name. Mr. Guzman, you were arrested on a warrant, failure to register, address change, and false registration information. The judge who issued the warrant found probable cause. PTR, any history?
Yes, Your Honor. In 2016, he has a driving without a valid driver's license, resisting without violence, failure to appear. He also has an open case out of Polk County for the same charges that he's currently here on.
Okay. So your bond in count 1 is 1,000. Your bond in count 2 is 1,000. Do you need a public defender?
Yes, ma'am.
PD will be appointed provisionally. Thank you. Jarrell Hurley. Please say your name, sir.
Gerald Hurley.
Thank you. So, Mr. Hurley, you have a warrant for tampering with an electronic monitoring device, and you have an on-view violation of probation. PTR, any other history?
Yes, Your Honor. He has history dating back to 2021 for larceny. He does have a no valid driver's license, a BOP. He has history also out of West Virginia for grand larceny, and driving without a valid driver's license. He also has failure to register charge as well.
Okay. State, you stood up. Is there something you'd like to say?
Your Honor, I wanted to ask for him to be held in no bond, especially on the BOP. I'm very familiar with the facts of the case because my co-counsel, Lauren Demers, is on this other case. He just recently pled out, and now he's quite to cut his ankle monitor.
Understood. Yeah. If I'm not, let me just look through this. I don't want to say something incorrectly and then have an issue with it.
He's also labeled VFOSC.
That's exactly what I was looking for. I want to make sure that I announce for the record, he's labeled as VFOSC and high-risk sex offender. Because of the accusations that he attempted to cut off and tamper with his monitoring device, that raises great concern in the court's eyes of his abilities to want to participate in the process and come back to court as required. And there's a very high indication of flight for these types of charges, besides the fact that it's a VOP as well. VOPs are typically zeros. They don't have to be, but they are. So at this time, he's going to be zeroed.
When they're labeled on a VOC, Your Honor, the statute indicates it shall not indicate that it is resolved.
Understood. So it'll be 0 on both.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Hurley, do you need a public defender? Yes. PD will be appointed provisionally. Next court dates will be on demand. Actually, Steve, it was a different plate. I got the right one. I got the name of somebody who doesn't match the name of the person that we were doing routine checks on. It's a totally different person, but still I want to know what's going on. Yeah. Thank you. Jose Lugo. And it's a C, not an L. It looked like it could be both, so I tried L, but the L was the other one, and it's a C. It's a Charlie. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Jose Lugo, ma'am. Jose Luis Lugo.
I'm sorry, say again?
Jose Luis Lugo.
Thank you. For the record, he's also identified VFOSC and high-risk sex offender. Mr. Lugo, you were arrested on a warrant for violation of probation. The judge who issued that set your bond at 0. Do you need a public defender?
Yes.
PD will be appointed provisionally. Your next court date will be?
May 18th, 1:30 p.m.
Thank you. Lakeisha McDonald. Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Lakeisha McDonald.
Thank you. Ms. McDonald, you were arrested, it looks like, on 3 different warrants. Technically, one is called a capias. The capias is for failure to appear. There's a warrant for violation of injunction domestic, and then there is a warrant for aggravated stalking. And I think you have an attorney here on this side?
No, Judge,
Oh.
I actually represent the victim in this case.
Oh, I apologize. Okay, thank you for telling me. You stood up, so I thought maybe you were going to be,
No.
entering an appearance. You
I just want
represent the
the victim
alleged
in the
victim.
case.
Understood. So the judge who issued all of these warrants, the different judges found probable cause. I don't have to revisit the probable cause. Let me ask PTR if there's any other history.
Yes, Your Honor. In 2019, she has a violation of injunction as well, where she also had a aggravated stalking, which was dropped. Out of Georgia, she has a driving without a valid driver's license in 2015, and her current charge is that she's here on the FTA for.
Okay. State, did you have something you wanted to say or add?
No, I do know the victim's requesting, Your Honor, from counsel has told me that no bond. However, per statute, I know she's allowed to be entitled to bond. The only thing I'd ask the court is to take in consideration the failure to appears. The victim's not here, but her counsel is here. I'll let him speak for the words of the victim. That's all the state was asking, basically.
I did read the affidavit, and in the affidavit, it places the victim's very serious, very genuine concerns. I did read all that, and Judge Arendis's failure to appear capias is a 0 bond. I'm not inclined to change that, so that's going to stay a 0. Yeah, I mean, unless you want to make arguments with regard to the injunction, which is a first-degree misdemeanor, and then in the aggravated stalking, I'm obligated to consider setting something reasonable, unless you want me to consider why I should set nothing. Leave them at 0.
Yeah, I would ask you to leave the bonds at 0 on behalf
There are
of...
3 different bonds.
Yes.
Okay, one will remain at 0 because it's a failure to appear capias.
Right.
The other 2, I am obligated to consider setting a bond, but I will hear if you feel that I should leave those other 2 at 0 also.
Yes, Judge, I feel you should leave them at 0 as well, because the victim has indicated that just recently as Sunday, she's received threats from the defendant as well as the defendant's family. There's substantial evidence that they may be pressuring her not to come to court. And she actually left town out of fear that the defendant would be transported back to Florida and would possibly bond out. And therefore, she's left town in hopes that the court would leave the bond state at zero.
Okay. And can you please state your name for the record, because
For the
we're
record,
recording, so
Tim.
I don't want to know.
For the record, Tim McLean.
Thank you. All right, so the failure to appear capious is going to stay at 0. The violation of an injunction is a first-degree misdemeanor. The court's going to set bond at $5,000. No contact with listed victim. No calling, no social media, no driving past the house, not going anywhere within 1,000 feet of where the victim lives or works, and no discussing any details or passing any messages through any mutual family members, because my understanding is they're related.
Yes.
They're cousins, I believe it said.
Yes, ma'am.
And then the aggravated stalking will also be set at $5,000 with the same no contact provisions.
Judge, I'd like to be heard on this one as well.
I'm sure, go right ahead. Well, let me ask Ms. McDonald first, do you want a public defender?
Yes, ma'am.
PD will be appointed provisionally. Yes, Mr. Public Defender.
Yeah, so she's a Georgia resident, and as such, the bond agencies aren't inclined to give her the 10%. I would ask that she be given bond at $500 apiece. That's a reasonable bond. She can pay $1,000 total.
Thank you. At this time, the court is going to deny that request to lower the bonds from where I previously set them. State?
Your Honor, on the aggravated stalking and on the violation of extradition injunction, the state would just be requesting no firearms, no weapons of any kind, please.
That'd be fine. She doesn't qualify for PTR, but the court will add, do not possess any weapons or firearms of any kind. Next court dates will be on demand, Ms. McDonald. Thank you. Thank you.
Your Honor, may I be excused?
You may. Have a good day. Regina Sanchez.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, she refused to come out today. Can we get a reset?
Let me ask corrections. Is Ms. Sanchez a high risk or quote unquote a two-man or anything like that?
No, ma'am.
All right, please go get her. She doesn't have the right to refuse to come to first appearances.
Okay,
Thank you. Timothy Wayant. Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Timothy Wyant.
Oh, Wyant. I apologize. Mr. Wyant, you were arrested on a warrant. It looks like Judge Epperson signed this. It was a failure to appear, but he gave you a bond. 300 count 1, 500 count 2, so your total bond is $800. I think you may have already had the public defender, yes? Do you want them to stay representing you? All right. Next court date?
June 29.
June 29th, I'm assuming is going to be the next pretrial date.
June 29th.
Yep. All right, thanks. Terrell Williams. Good afternoon, please say your name.
Terrell Williams.
Thank you. Mr. Williams, you were arrested on a warrant for violation of probation. Judge Nix set your bond at 0. Do you need a public defender?
Yes.
PD will be appointed provisionally. Next court date?
May 17th.
May 17th. Thank you. Michael Callahan. Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Michael Callahan.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I'd like to request a waiving of the reading of these charges.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Callahan, do you wish for the public defenders to represent you?
Absolutely.
PDs will be appointed provisionally. The public defender is asking me not to say the charges out loud for the reason why you were arrested. Are you okay with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you, I'm not asking you to admit to anything. I'm just asking, were you made aware of the reason why you were arrested?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so you know why they took you into custody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So at this time, then, the court finds the defendant voluntarily waived his right to be read and told the nature of the charges that caused his detention. I've read through this affidavit. There is probable cause. PTR, any history?
Yes, Your Honor. He has history dating back to 2009 for battery, cocaine possession, drug paraphernalia. 2012, resisting without violence. He was found guilty for that. And in 2017, a marijuana possession. That's it.
Okay. State, did you want to say something?
Your Honor, I would just say, as charged, it is punishable by a life offense, so therefore we'd be asking for 0 bond.
Anything from the public defenders?
Yeah, I mean, I would ask that is granted reasonable bond. He doesn't have a history of this kind of offense, and he's got ties to the community. There's no reason he wouldn't appear.
Okay. At this time, bond will be stayed at 0 pending a full evidentiary hearing, well, a full hearing on the facts that either the state or the defense wish to bring in front of the judge before whom the case is pending. But in light of the allegations and in light of the parameters, the court is going to remain at 0. No contact with listed victim and no unsupervised contact with anyone under the age of 18. Your next court date will be on demand. Thank you. Did you want to say something else?
I was just going to ask for no return to the scene, Your Honor, and no internet, but
Yeah.
your bond, so.
0 bond, exactly. I had that written down preliminarily, but depending on if the bond goes up or down from my initial feeling, I impose what I think is appropriate.
That's
Thank
why
you.
I set that down. I apologize.
No problem, that's fine. Catalin Garcia Rodriguez.
She's detoxing, Your Honor. That's for reset.
Detox, okay, we can reset her. Nicholas Gomez.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Nicholas Marcos Gomez.
Thank you. Mr. Gomez, you have 3 different cases. You have a warrant for grand theft auto. That bond is $2,500. You have a warrant for burglary and theft. That bond is 35 count 1 and 5 count 2, so 4,000 total. And then you have a new law arrest for resisting without violence that I read, and there is probable cause. PTR, any other history?
Yes, Your Honor. He has extensive history, just from 2018. Grand theft, resisting recovery of merchandise, dealing in stolen property, fraud, impersonation, drug equipment, possession, trespassing, multiple violation of probations from 2018 to 2020, as well as 8 FTAs.
8 FTAs, wow. All right. Bond in the resisting is going to be set at $1,000. Do you need a public defender, Mr. Gomez?
Yes, ma'am, Judge.
PD will be appointed provisionally. Yes, sir?
I would just like to add, I've successfully completed PTR several times, and I have strong ties in the community. I live right around the corner with my entire family.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you for that info. Do you want a public defender?
Yes.
PD will be appointed.
Do you have a bond?
You have bonds and everything. I gave you bonds and everything.
Okay,
Yeah, you have bonds. I didn't zero you on anything.
thank you. Can you-
You're welcome. Next court date?
On demand.
Thank you.
Your Honor, will you be adding PTR with this?
No.
No? Okay.
Bobby Harvey? Good afternoon. Please say your name. Thank you. Mr. Harvey, you have a bench warrant for failure to appear. Judge Carson set a bond at $6,000. No, wait. Is that, yeah, failure to appear, because it was 2 counts. I got tripped right there. 5,000 count 1, 1,000 count 2. So the total on the failure to appear is $6,000. And then you've got a new law violation for driving on a suspended with knowledge and no motorcycle endorsement. And I find probable cause in the affidavit. Any other history?
Yes, Your Honor. He has a failure to register his motor vehicle, 2021, an FTA in 2022, 2 FTAs in 2018.
State?
Your Honor, state would request that his bond on 20 CF 3520 be revoked based on the new law violation if you find probable cause on that, being that he was out on bond or failure to appear.
Your Honor, he also has...
Was he out on bond, though?
He has an out-of-county warrant out of, Brevard. He has a hold.
Right.
Out of
No, I think
Brevard,
what the
yeah.
state is saying, because he had the felony case.
I withdraw my argument. Sorry, Your Honor.
No, that's okay. I didn't see that he was out on bond.
Yeah.
He had an open case
Yeah.
where the failure to appear was. Yeah, okay. So it'll stay, as I said, Judge Karsten's bonds will stay. And then the Dwellis will stay 500. The no motorcycle endorsement will stay 500. Do you need a public defender, Mr. Harvey? PD will be appointed provisionally. Next court date?
May 12th.
May the 12th. Thank you. Isaac Manning? Good afternoon. Please say your name. Thank you. Mr. Manning, you were arrested for battery. I've read the affidavit. There is probable cause. It looks like you are out on bond in 22 CF 314. PTR, any other history?
Yes, Your Honor. He has over 30 prior arrests dating back to 1972. Total of 8 DOC sentences. Most recently in 2016, aggravated battery without a deadly weapon, violation of probation in 2021, another aggravated battery in 2021 as well, a burglary of an unoccupied structure in January of this year, which was dropped, and the current charge, which is currently out on bond for.
Do you know if those other 2021 battery charges involved the same victim?
No, Your Honor.
Because
No, I'm not, I don't have that information as far as whether or not they're the same victim.
Gotcha. There is 22 MM597 that lists this victim as a victim in that case too, but it lists a different defendant. So not Mr. Manning. And 21 MM2694, it lists her as the defendant. And that was no infoed by the state. And that's a different, not this man's. And then there's that one. I knew I recognized the name. Okay. Mr. Manning, your bond is going to be stayed at $500, no contact with Ms. Triplett, and I'm going to revoke your bond in 22 CF 314 and set it 0. Do you need a public defender? I'm sorry, sir, I can't hear you. Do you want a public defender to represent you, sir?
Yeah,
All right, PD will be appointed provisionally. Next court date?
no, I'm saying,
Excuse me, Your Honor. He's asking what bond was revoked.
I show PTR lists that he's out in 22 CF 314. It's a burglary of a dwelling in front of Judge Young, and it's set for pretrial June 15th. 22 CF 314.
so,
Okay?
could I only have what, how many charges I have? Discharge him and the one you just discussed?
That's what I can tell right now, Mr. Manning, those two. All right? Thank you. Dylan Nutt. Is it 21 CF 314? Is that right? No, 22 CF. I know I said it wrong. Good afternoon. What's your name?
Dylan Nutt.
Thank you. Sir, you were arrested for grand theft and false owner information to a pawnbroker. There is probable cause. PTR, any history?
Yes, Your Honor. In 2019, he was charged with resisting without violence. That was dropped. No pros, I'm sorry, and that was a juvenile offense. Adult offenses in 2019. In November, he was charged with stalking. That was dropped. Trespassing in 2020. Possession of a controlled substance. And a VOP in 2020. He was found guilty of that.
And he's on probation in
And he's
22 CF
yeah.
3214?
Yes.
Is that 22 CF?
No, it's 20.
It's 20 CF,
20
sorry.
CF, yes.
It looks like 2 CC.
Yeah.
20 CF.
20 CF 32.
7-4 or 1-4?
Let me see. 7-4.
Okay. Let me look that up real quick. Sentenced to probation January 21st, 2021, for a period of 24 months. So that would be January to 2023. All right, so I find probable cause for violation of probation on view. Your bond in the grand theft will be stayed at 2,500. In the false ID will be 150. No contact with the victim whose property was taken. No return to the victim's home. No return to any pawn shop. And then the VOP will be set at 0. Do you need a public defender, Mr. Nutt?
Yes, but I currently live with that person.
Well, currently you're going to be living at the Osceola County Jail. You can't go back to her house. It's alleged that you stole her ring and you pawned it, so for now, until this gets resolved, you're not allowed to go back to live at that house. Okay? And I'm sorry, you said yes, public defender?
Yes, ma'am.
PD provisionally appointed, next court date?
On demand.
Thank you. Aldrin Perlis. Good afternoon, please say your name.
Aldrin Perlis.
Thank you. So, Mr. Perlis, you were arrested on false imprisonment, domestic violence, domestic battery by strangulation, and hindering communication. There is probable cause, PTR.
Your Honor, he has no prior in or out of state history.
Bond in count 1 will be set at 1,000. Count 2 will be 1,000. Count 3 will be 1,500. Count 4 will be 1,000. All with pretrial release. No contact with victim. No return. No weapons or firearms. Do you need a public defender, Mr. Perlis?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
PD will be appointed provisionally. Your next court date will be on demand. That means they'll let you know.
Your Honor,
Thank you.
they're joint residents. I'd ask for a one-time return with the sheriff.
Sure. One-time assist order permitted with law enforcement. No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Devontae Perry.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Devontae Perry.
Thank you. Mr. Perry, you were arrested for selling marijuana, manufacturing or delivering paraphernalia, unlawful use of two-way communication device. There is probable cause. PTR?
Your Honor, he has a battery in 2017 and a DUI in 2020. He did serve a probation term, which expired in March of this year. He does qualify for direct PTR.
Bond in count 1 will be 1,000.
Your Honor, he bonded out earlier today already.
Okay, I don't have that. Yeah, give me a second. Let me see if it's posted or not. You know this because he told you that, or do you have paperwork?
Pretrial release just told me.
Gotcha, thanks. So he's bond pending?
Yeah, he paid the bond this morning.
No problem then, that's fine. The court's just gonna add PTR supervision. Do not possess any illegal substances. Can they do that, Mr.
No,
If it's bond pending, can I add the PTR
yeah,
to
no.
it?
He
No?
should have not have been in the
He
courtroom.
should have not been in court, okay. Well, then that's fine. Don't possess any illegal substances. That's just a condition of your release. So you're good.
Yes, ma'am. So
You're about to get, they're bonding you out. The paperwork just has to process. Do you need a public defender?
yeah, I might get a lawyer later, but yeah.
Well, no. If you're gonna get a lawyer, tell me, and then I'm not gonna make the public defender start working for free. All right, you know what? If you decide you need a PD, just fill out the form, okay?
Okay.
All right, next court date will be on demand.
Okay.
Thank you. Michael Torres. Good afternoon, please say your name.
Michael Torres.
Thank you. Mr. Torres, you were arrested for domestic violence battery. There is probable cause, PTR.
Your Honor, he has a battery in 2019 with the same victim. It was dropped. Trespassing and grand theft auto in 2008.
The prior battery, you said same victim. Was
Yes.
she the victim or the defendant? Because there's like a mutual combat pattern in this affidavit. That doesn't mean there's not probable cause, but there's a mutual combat issue.
The victim was the same name in the prior affidavit.
Okay, yeah, because we may have oil and water here, so. All right, bond is set at $500 with pretrial release, no contact with victim, no return to any shared residence.
Can I get a one-time entry to?
Sure, yeah, let me finish. No weapons or firearms, and do not possess or consume any alcohol. And you may have a one-time assist order to go back and get your personal things. But you have to go with law enforcement, okay? Do you need a public defender? No? All right, next court date will be on demand. Thank you. Regina Sanchez. Please say your name.
Regina Sanchez.
Okay. Ms. Sanchez, how come you didn't want to come to see me?
I didn't even know where I was going, and I didn't feel too good because I'm pregnant, and I
Okay.
don't know what's wrong. Yeah, I've been feeling sick.
All right, because when I called your name before, they told me, well, she refused, and that's just the info they got. And I was like, well, no, she's coming to see me. I'm going to extend a special invitation. So, Ms. Sanchez, you were arrested because of a failure to appear on a VOP.
Yes, ma'am.
So that bond by the judge who issued it is a 0. Do you want a public defender to represent you?
No, ma'am. I don't remember failing to appear in no court, though.
I don't know the details. I just have a copy of the warrant that Judge Sanders issued. It may be an old one.
No,
But-
there's no failing to appear here, though.
I am just reading what it says. It says, Regina Sanchez, March 25th, failed to appear for violation of probation arraignment. That's all I have on here, but I'm just letting you know, okay?
Yes.
How far are you in your pregnancy?
About 3 months. And
Okay.
a week.
You need a public defender?
No, ma'am.
No. You're gonna talk to a private lawyer?
No, ma'am.
What are you gonna do for a lawyer?
No, I mean, like, so what?
But you should talk to somebody.
Can I get a bond or what?
Well, not until you get back in front of Judge Sanders. It's her warrant. So it's a violation of probation case. So
But I haven't violated anything.
I know, but until you figure out what all this is about, I'm just making sure you understand that if you need a public defender and you qualify, I'll give you one.
Wow, but what I'm saying is, what if I haven't done none of this, though?
But who's gonna be able to help you tell that to the judge? A lawyer is who will help explain your situation. I'm not trying to hurt you, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to make sure you understand that if you need a lawyer to help you out with this, I can give you a public defender if you qualify.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, PD will be provisionally appointed, and that way they can start looking into your case and talking to you, and then they'll know what to do on how to get you in front of Judge Sanders real fast.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? Next court date?
May 12th.
May 12th. Yeah, probably jail arraignments, next week jail arraignments. Thank you. All right, tomorrow Judge Young will be covering IAs for me. I have not yet been told whether he wants to do them in this courtroom or in the courtroom to which he's assigned. I guess I'll have my JA tell Salinas and Salinas can tell everybody else.
I'll make sure the state attorney's office knows from what we've been told it's in the
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Sean Green, ma'am.
Mr. Green, you're here in case number 19MO998. You were arrested for state misdemeanors or possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Mr. Green?
Yes, Your Honor. It's an adjudication of guilt, 5 days, and I believe he has 3 days credit time served.
Okay. Mr. Green, did you want to accept that offer from the state?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just need you to sign the plea form, please. Mr. Green, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions
Your Honor,
about any?
He just indicated to me he didn't know what that was, so.
I don't know what, excuse, ma'am, do I mean 5 days? Do I have to stay 5 more days?
No, sir, you're gonna get up tomorrow,
Tomorrow? Okay,
okay?
yeah.
Is that what you meant? What he didn't mean is how long he was gonna be here?
Yeah, that's what I didn't know that.
Okay, you did read the plea form though?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any questions about any of
No,
the
ma'am.
rights you're giving up? Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you are not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, I will accept your plea. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 3 days time served. You'll also have to pay court costs. Those are due by May 24th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. All right, thank you, sir. 24th.
Your Honor, Mr. Huggins refused.
Mr. Huggins is mental health, Your Honor.
Okay, I don't have his paperwork.
To reset from yesterday.
Do you have it in?
Okay, he's a refusal. Because he refused yesterday.
What are we looking at? Hey, what are we looking at?
All right, so did he refuse or is it mental health?
Refusal.
Okay. So at this time, I'm going to find a waiver of his appearance. He was not allowed to come to court yesterday because of behavior, and today he's refused. It's 19 CF 7388. He was arrested for possession of methamphetamine. I'm going to appoint the public defender. There is probable cause. His bond is $1,000. And then he also has an out-of-county warrant out of Seminole County where his bond is $3,000. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Cornelius, last name, first name Kip, middle initial Y.
Okay. I feel like none of my stuff is in that order. Why not?
Is there any way, Judge, to get an ROR?
No, just
I work,
give me, Mr.
I work for OCSO, Orange County Sheriff's Office.
I need you
as
to just give me a minute, okay? I'm not ready to address your case. Just a second. So none of these are gonna line up? No, I told her it was fine to bring them in, but I thought they were gonna be in the same order as the paper. Like, they didn't have to be attached, but they were gonna be in the same order. Because this does me no good. Okay. Okay. Do you know the order everyone's gonna be in? Okay. Here, I'll just do this without. All right, Mr. Young, this is case number 19 CF 7396. You were arrested for burglary of an occupied structure and trespass in an occupied structure.
Yeah, that was my property, man.
Mr. Young, listen, I'm gonna caution you not to talk about your case this morning, okay? Everything in this room is recorded and it can be used against you later. So there's some things that I need to tell you and I'm gonna ask you not to talk right now, okay?
Why don't you just put me back on the street, OCSO? I was working Orange Ave.
Okay, Mr. Young, your bond on count 1 is $5,000, your bond on count 2 is $100. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and there's probable cause for burglary of an occupied structure and trespass in an occupied structure. Thank you, sir. Stay. Good morning. Are you Mr. Harris?
Good morning, ma'am.
Sir, you're here in case number 19 CF 7475. You were arrested for retail theft greater than $300, grand theft third degree, and conspiracy to commit retail theft greater than $300. I do find probable cause for each of the offenses, and I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Sir, you can't return to the Home Depot at 7022 West Colonial Drive, and you're not to have any contact with your co-defendant in this matter. Your bond... Richard Harris? Okay.
This is Willie Harris.
Willie Harris.
They brought in the wrong Harris.
Conveyance, not Home Depot.
Okay, I have Richard in front of me.
Harris on the list.
Yeah, I think they brought in the wrong Harris.
Willie James Harris.
Okay, the paperwork in line is Richard. All right, let me find Willie.
And is Willie Harris a felony?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Willie James Harris.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Harris.
Yes, ma'am.
You are here.
He was one of the...
In 19 CF 7460, you were arrested for 2 counts of burglary of a conveyance. And in case number 19 CF 7440, you were also arrested for burglary of a conveyance and aggravated assault. Mr. Wynn, did you have a probable cause on this challenge on this case?
Yeah, just for the 2 of the, I thought it was counts 3 and 4, but I now see it was another
Affidavit?
affidavit.
There are 3 different cars.
Okay, well, there are 2 different, okay, do the,
So in 19 CF 7460, it's a white Ford, 4-door passenger car with a victim named, and then the second car is a 2017 gray Chevy 4-door passenger car with an Illinois tag.
okay, and
then-
those are both in the affidavit, then I would withdraw that.
Okay. Mr. Harris, your bond on count 1 in 19 CF 7460 will be $3,500 on count 1, and on count 2 it will be $150. You're not to have any contact with the victims in this case, Fabian Lona and Orlando Bernal. And then in 19 CF 7440, your bond on count 1 is $3,500 and your bond on count 2 is $150. And you're not to have any contact with Jessica Garcia.
And Your Honor, may we have a no return to the scene as well?
Yes, so you're not allowed to return to the scene, and you're also not to possess any weapons or any firearms while you're out on bond. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna set this other Mr. Harris over here to the side. Both got that same one. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Good morning, my name's Kristen Brown.
Ms. Brown, you're here in case number 19 CF 7461. You were arrested for fleeing and attempting to elude, possession of milazepam, possession of tetrahydrocannabis, destruction of evidence, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of a prescription drug without a prescription. There is probable cause for each of the offenses. Were you going to hire your own attorney, ma'am, or do you need to see? Oh, your affidavit's here. Okay. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you based upon your affidavit. And at this time, ma'am, I'm going to place you on pretrial release. I'm also going to order that you're not to possess or consume any illegal substances while out on pretrial release. Okay? Thank you.
So I have a bail, a bond?
You don't have to pay any money to get out of the jail, but you'll be placed on pretrial release, so you'll be supervised by that program while you're out in the community.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you. Oh, was that her parents?
Grandparents, Your Honor.
Oh, if they want to come into the box, I'll explain to them. Do you want to come in the box? They've been sitting here. That was Miss Brown.
Unless they can hear us out there, I don't know if they can or not.
Well, I also feel like people don't understand what happens in court.
And that she has to be processed.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you Miss Brown's grandmother?
Grandmother, yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were able to hear me sitting out there, but I just wanted to let you know what happened is she was placed on pretrial release, so she'll be processed and released today. Okay,
What does that mean?
Well, it means that she won't have to post any money to get out of the jail. She'll be monitored by a program while she's out in the community waiting for her case to be resolved. She'll have to report to them as they instruct her, and I ordered that she's not allowed to possess any illegal substances while she's out on bond, okay? Out in the community.
Okay, I did speak with a lawyer
Okay.
this morning to represent her.
Okay. That's good.
Well, okay. all
Okay,
right.
she'll be out later today, ma'am.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Stevens? I'm sorry, Mr. Lee?
Yes, I am.
This is 16 CF 4268. You were arrested for sale or delivery of methamphetamine pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, and your bond is $1,000, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Poland, the behavior, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll reset Mr. Poland. Sir, good morning. Your name? Your name, sir.
Antoine Roddy.
Mr. Roddy, this is case number 19 CF 6947. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause capias, and the state has actually filed an information in this case, Mr. Nguyen, for the burglary of a dwelling, petty theft, and the criminal mischief.
Okay, we'll enter a not guilty on his behalf at this time. Then.
I think his attorney in the trial division will be able to do that.
Oh, okay.
But I will appoint your office to represent him.
Okay.
Bond on count 1 is $5,000, bond on count 2 is $150, and bond on count 3 is $150. Sir, you are not to return to 306 South Hawthorne Avenue, and you cannot have any contact with Francimar Robles. Do you understand?
Yes, I don't even know who that is.
Okay, well then that shouldn't be a problem for you, sir. Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Philip Singletary.
Mr. Singletary, this is 19 CF 6655. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for burglary of a dwelling and grand theft 3rd degree. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond Your bond on count 1 is going to be $3,500. Your bond on count 2 is $150. You're not to have any contact with the alleged victim or return to the scene. 231 South Summerlin Avenue. All right, thank you, sir. I thought I brought some papers and everything, but I guess I forgot them. I got it. Good morning. Your name, sir?
Jeremy Tarver.
Mr. Tarver, you're here in case number 18 CF 5940. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for the offense of sale and delivery of cannabis with consideration. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and your bond, sir, is $2,500.
Man,
You also have reporting requirements, sir, when you're released from the jail.
I'm already in jail for this same charge, man. I've been charged with it, and I have a court date already set for July 10th.
Not in this case, you don't, sir. And maybe it's a violation of probation or something else, but this case doesn't have a court date. Maybe you have another case that's similar, but on this particular case, you were just served the warrant
Yes, ma'am.
and there's no court date set. The state just,
For the 2018, I came to jail and I bonded out. That's the case that violated my probation. And then I went on a run for a whole year. And then I came back to jail this April on the new charges.
based upon, you have to talk to your attorney, sir, based upon the information that I'm looking at, the warrant, you're correct, was issued last year in April. The state filed an information in October, but there's no previous record of it being executed on you, so this would be the first time. So I don't know if there's another case, you'll have to talk to your attorney about that, sir, okay? All right, thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Ronald King.
Mr. King, you were here on an out-of-county warrant from Bay County related to fraudulent use of a credit card greater than $300. Your bond is currently set at none. Bay County is going to come pick you up, sir, and you'll see a judge when you get there. All right, thank you. not have? You didn't have? Okay. Good morning, Mr. Bradford. Just give me a minute, okay?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Thank you.
If it helps, we're moving to reset it to 1 o'clock, Your Honor. So
Oh,
that
really?
Mr. Akins is in Polk County at a sentencing, and he can't be here till 1, so I'm
Okay.
subbing to ask for a continuance of this just to this
No
afternoon.
problem. I just realized I called you by your first name.
My feelings are not hurt.
That's my dad's first name. I don't know, maybe that's why I did that.
I have 2 first names, 2 last names, so.
For first name, yes.
It's perfectly okay.
All right, Mr. Fisher, that's fine. Ms. Bush, is that all right with you to have Mr. Akins present?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then we'll do that.
So 1 o'clock?
That'll work.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
no problem. Thank you.
May I speak to him briefly in the
Sure.
back?
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Robert Louis Bush Jr.
Mr. Bush. Sir, this is case number 19 CF 7468. You were arrested for sale and delivery of cocaine. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond's going to be $2,500, sir. Thank you.
Okay, definitely.
Good morning. Are you Ms. Camps?
Morning.
This is 18 CF 16106. You are arrested pursuant to a capias because you failed to appear for arraignment on December 13th of 2018 related to the offense of driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions.
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond on that matter is currently set at none. You also have 19 MM 4378. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause for that offense. I'll appoint the public defender in both cases. Your bond and the resisting officer without violence is $500.
Okay.
That's all, ma'am. Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Richard Colbert.
How about Laney Cobb?
Lady Cobb reviews, Your Honor.
All right, what's that? Mr. Cobb. All right, you're Mr. Colbert?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, this is 19 CF 7433. You were arrested for trafficking in phenethylamines greater than 400 grams pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found. So I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. sir. At this time, I'm going to say the bond, it'll be $250,000. Thank you. Good morning. Are you Mr. Davis?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, this is 19 CF 7317. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for failing to report within 30 days. Sir, you do have reporting requirements, and you will when you leave the jail as well. At this time, I'm going to set your bond at $3,500, sir. Thank you.
Judge.
Yes.
Is the PDF on?
Yes. Thank you. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Lacey Lee Delaney.
Ms. Delaney, you are here in case number 19 CF 7467. You were arrested for grand theft, greater than $300, less than $5,000. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to the Walmart at 1700 South Orange Blossom Trail. And at this time, I'm going to place you on pretrial release, ma'am. Thank you. Good morning. Are you Mr. Eubank?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, this is 18 CF 1777. You failed to appear for trial management conference on May 8th of this year. Your bond is currently set at none, and I will appoint the public defender if they weren't previously appointed. Thank you. Okay, reset Mr. Graham. Good morning. Are you Mr. Johnson, sir?
Richard Harris.
Oh, got it. All right. Mr. Harris, this is 19 CF 7475. You were arrested for retail theft greater than $300, grand theft third degree greater than $300, less than $5,000, and conspiracy to commit retail theft greater than $300. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You cannot return to Home Depot at 7022 West Colonial Drive. Your bond, sir, is going to be $1,000 on count 1, $150 on count 2, and $150 on count 3.
And Your Honor, may we have the no contact with co-defendant as well?
Yes, ma'am, you're not to have any contact with Christina Mobley. Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Terrell Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you're here in case number 19 CF 7466. You were arrested for possession of MDMA. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. At this time, sir, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. You want to make sure that the attorney has your correct contact information as well as the clerk of the court. That way you get notice of your next court date. If you fail to appear for court, they'll issue a warrant for your arrest with no bond. Okay? Thank you, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Sierra Jones.
Ms. Jones, this is 19 CF 7450. You were arrested for possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, which is heroin, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for both of the offenses. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. And at this time, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. I'm also going to order that you're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs while you're out on bond, and you're not to have any contact with any of the co-defendants in this case. Thank you.
And, Your Honor, was that Ms. Jones?
Pardon me?
Was that Miss Sierra Jones?
Jones. Mm-hmm. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Marlon Matthews.
Did Mr. Lamarck bond out?
He bonded out.
Okay. You're Mr. Matthews?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you're here in 19 CF 3050. You failed to appear on May 2nd of this year for your arraignment. Your bond is currently set at none, and I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Thank you.
Hey, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
I want to know, so I won't have a bond?
Not today. So
Not
you're going to have to ask the judge who issued the capias
Yes,
to
ma'am.
give you a bond. All right. Have your attorney file a motion. Good morning. Are you Miss Mobley? Ma'am, this is 19 CF 7476. You were arrested for grand theft greater than $300, retail theft greater than $300, and conspiracy to commit retail theft greater than $300. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You can't return to 7022 West Colonial Drive, that's the Home Depot, and you are not to have any contact with your co-defendant, Richard Harris, in this matter. Your bond on count 1 will be $1,000, on count 2, $150, and count 3, $150. Thank you, ma'am. Did I see? Oh, okay, I see. Good morning, your name?
Nahum Nagusi.
Just one moment, sir. Sir, you were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for the offenses of possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Sir, were you going to hire an attorney to represent you, or do you want to see if you qualify for the public defender?
I already have one.
Okay, who is that?
I actually don't remember his name. I don't have my phone to see it.
Okay. All right, so you're gonna plan on hiring him for this case as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Your bond on count 1, sir? Give me 1 second. Your bond on count 1 is gonna be $1,500, your bond on count 2 will be $100, and your bond on count 3 will be $100. So I'm not gonna revoke your bond on the out on bond case at this time because they happened on the offense dates are the same day. So there's no reason to revoke your bond, but you're gonna wanna get in touch with your attorney and let them know you have a new case that they served a warrant. Okay? Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Elijah Odoms.
Mr. Odoms, this is 19 CF 7477. You were arrested for possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver with a weapon, possession of cocaine, possession of methamphetamine with a weapon, possession of methamphetamine with intent, possession of MDMA, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and possession of a firearm or ammunition by a convicted felon, and possession of hydromorphone. I find probable cause for all of the counts except for count 7. I don't see any facts in the affidavit regarding ammunition, and there's not 2 guns.
Your Honor, I just saw it, if I may.
Sure.
On page 4 of, that's numbered 4 of 5.
Yes.
In the first paragraph, it talks about Officer Blinn located 2 backpacks in the trunk of the vehicle. One contained a box of.
I did see that. Thank you. Okay. So there is probable cause for each of the offenses. Count 1, I'm going to set bond at $10,000. The rest will be subsidiary bonds in the amount of $150, except for count 10 will be $100. And the public defender is appointed to represent you, Mr. Odoms.
And Your Honor, may we have a no weapons or firearms
Yes.
order?
Mr. Odoms, when you're out on bond, you're not allowed to possess any weapons or any firearms, all right? Thank you, sir. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Eddie Oquendo, ma'am.
Sir, you failed to appear in case number 17 CF 9993 for trial on July 16th of 2018. Your bond is set at none, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Scott?
I'm fine, how are you?
Mr. Scott, you are here in case number 19 CF 7439. You were arrested for grand theft of a motor vehicle. Looks like this is an add-on charge. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and your bond is $1,000, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Good morning. Are you Mr. Simmons?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, this is 19 CF 7448. You were arrested for possession of a controlled substance, which was heroin, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Sir, your bond on count 1 is going to be $1,000, and your bond on count 2 is $100.
In your honor, may we have a no contact with co-defendants?
Yes. Mr. Simmons, you're not allowed to have any contact with any of the co-defendants. Those are the people that were arrested with you in this case. Yes, sir.
Can I find out if the state have a plea offer for me?
Pardon me?
Can I find out if the state have a plea offer?
You can't plea out on this today, sir, because it's a felony. So I can't take your plea. All right, thank you. Good morning, your name?
China Snyder.
You're Miss Snyder? Ma'am, you were arrested in 19 CF 7478. You were arrested for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, possession of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a place of worship with intent, possession of methamphetamine with a weapon, sale and delivery of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a park, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of cocaine with intent to sell within 1,000 feet of a park. Ms. Bush?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would ask for 24 hours to get a complete narrative for this affidavit.
Okay. So at this time, I'll say the bonds on all counts. On count 4, I'll set the bond at $10,000. Ms. Snyder, you also have 18 CF 11348. You failed to appear for case management conference on November 26th of 2018, and in that matter, your bond is set at none. The public defender is appointed to represent you in all the cases. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Brittany Stallworth.
Miss Stallworth, is that correct? Ma'am, you're here in case number 19 CF 7479. You were arrested for possession of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a place of worship with intent, possession of methamphetamine with a weapon, sale and delivery of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a park, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of cocaine with intent to sell within 1,000 feet of a park.
Yes, Your Honor. The state would ask for 24 hours to get a complete narrative.
That request will be granted. I'm gonna set bond at $3,500 on count 2 and stay bond on all the other counts at this time. Ms. Stallworth, the state has 24 hours to provide probable cause for all of the things that you were arrested for. You do have a bond on all your counts, but your case will be revisited tomorrow. If they're unable to provide that information to the court, then you'll be released on your own recognizance. Okay? Thank you, ma'am. Sir, good morning. Your name? Mr. Thomas, you're here in case number 19 CF 7480. You were arrested to a warrant where probable cause was previously found. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. Actually, you didn't fill out the affidavit. Do you plan on hiring your own lawyer, or do you want to? No? Do you want to see if you qualify for the public defender?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you working?
No.
No. Do you have any source of income? No. All right, sir, I'll appoint the public defender based upon your testimony. You cannot go back to the 7-Eleven at 938 West Colonial Drive. I'm gonna set your bond, sir, at $500 on count 1 and $100 on count 2. Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name? Mr. Tillman, this is case number 19 CF 7481. You were arrested for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, possession of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a place of worship with intent, possession of methamphetamine with a weapon, sale and delivery of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a park, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver within 1,000 feet of a park.
Your Honor, the state requests 24 hours.
Okay. At this time, I'll grant that request. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to stay the bond on all counts at this time. Sir, the state has 24 hours to provide the court with the probable cause for the charges that you were arrested for. You do have a bond on each count. If they can't provide that tomorrow, then you'll be released on your own recognizance. Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Sean Ozel?
Puzzle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is 18 CF 16543. You failed to appear for arraignment on April 24th of 2019. Your bond is currently set at none, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you if they weren't already appointed. You're going to have your lawyer file a motion in the trial court to see if you can get the bond modified, okay? Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Iván Villanueva.
Tell me again?
Ivan Villanueva.
Mr. Villanova, this is 19 CF 7456. You were arrested for burglary of an occupied structure. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is, or your bond in this case is $5,000. However, I will take no action on 19 CF 1086. All right, thank you, sir.
And Your Honor, may we have a no return to the scene?
Yes, so you can't go back to the barber shop.
Ma'am, in order that my wife spoke to that because this is something that happened, so he's gonna drop everything. So I don't know.
Okay, that may be true, but today I'm letting you know you can't go back to the barber shop.
All right,
Okay?
no problem. Yes.
All right, thank you. Good morning. Your name?
Kevin Barrow.
Mr. Barrow, this is an out-of-county warrant from Seminole County related to a violation of probation for possession of cocaine. Your bond is currently set at none. Seminole County is going to come pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get there, sir. All right. Thank you.
May I ask how long?
They have 24 hours to come get you, so but that doesn't count the weekend, so they'll probably pick you up on Monday. They won't come on Saturday?
Holiday.
Oh, so Tuesday. There's a holiday on Monday, so they're probably gonna come get you on Tuesday. All right? Thank you. Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Erica Jackson.
Ms. Jackson, you're here for an out-of-county warrant from Hillsborough County. This is related to failing to appear for the offense of criminal mischief. At this time, your bond is set at none. Hillsborough County is gonna come pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get there. They're probably gonna be here Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you, ma'am. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Louis Molina.
Mr. Molina, you're here for an over-the-county line arrest for your initial appearance. There's probable cause for petty theft, second degree, stolen tag, grand theft of a motor vehicle, possession of marijuana less than 20 grams, driving while license suspended or revoked, and attaching a tag not assigned. Your bond on the first count's $250. Your bond on the second count's $2,000. Bond on count 3 is $500. Bond on count 4 is $500. Bond on count 6 is $500. You'll also see a judge when you get to Seminole County, sir. Thank you. Good morning. Are you Mr. Moonsamy?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, this is an out-of-county warrant from Seminole County. You failed to appear for arraignment for violation of an injunction. Your bond is $2,000. If you can't post that bond, sir, Seminole County will come pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get there.
Yes,
All right?
ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Sharness Bess.
Ms. Bess, you're here in case number 19 CF 7399. You were arrested for possession of ketamine with intent to sell or deliver, possession of cocaine, introducing contraband into a county facility, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for all of the counts, ma'am. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in both of your cases. I'm gonna set your bond on count 1, ma'am, at $2,500. Bond on 7399. Bond on count 2, 150. Bond on count 3, 150. 4 is 100, and 5 is 100. You also have case number 19 CF 7393, where you were arrested for possession of cocaine, possession of ketamine, neglect of a child, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There's probable cause for those offenses, ma'am. As I said, I'll appoint the public defender. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000. Your bond on count 2 will be $150. Your bond on count 3 is going to be $5,000. Your bond on count 4 is $100. Your bond on count 5 is $100. I'm also going to order that you're to comply with any DCF requests or investigations. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Burton coming?
Mr. Burton refused, right?
Was yesterday 22? So this is his second refusal. Okay, I'll reset him one more time. Are you Mr. Harrison?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, this is case number 19 CF 7401. You were arrested for grand theft, third degree. I find probable cause. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You were also arrested in 19 CF 7402. Oh, Ms. Bush, is this the reset from yesterday regarding the PC?
Yes, Your Honor. And
Unfortunately, I left that in the office and I didn't have a chance to.
Your
review
Honor,
the copy.
if I may.
Yes, please.
Approach with the, and this was also emailed at the same time to defense counsel.
Thank you. All right. All right, there is probable cause for each of the counts. Thank you, Ms. Bush. I'll say the bond as to each count, sir, okay? So your bond on 19 CF 7401 is $150, and in 19 CF 7402, count 1 is $1,000, and count 1 is $1,000, count 2 is $250. Thank you.
And Your Honor, may we have a no return to the scene?
Yes, sir, I believe that's Home Depot. You can't return to the Home Depot, sir. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Good morning. Are you Miss Key?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, this is 19MM 501. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause. And it looks like all of these out on bonds may be competency cases. Ms. LaBarre is representing her.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. At this time, I'm just going to stay the bond on the new charge, and I'm not going to take any action. Let me just go through all of the out on bonds. All right, I'm not going to take any action on any of the out on bond cases at this time, but I will stay the bond at $500 on the new case. Ma'am, you can't return to the Chevron gas station at 601 North John Young Parkway. Do you understand?
Huh?
You can't return to the Chevron gas station at 601 North John Young Parkway. Do you understand? Yes? Okay.
So then what's gonna happen now?
You will have to pay your bond to be released.
I have to pay a bond?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have no money.
You're gonna need to contact your lawyer. All right? Because I know you're on conditional release. And I'm not sure that you're complying in all respects with that. So I would call your lawyer if you can't afford your bond. Thank you, Ms. Keith. Good morning. Your name?
Sierra Matt.
Good morning, Miss Mack. This is 19mm 3153 Sierra Mack. Go ahead, Mr. Wynn.
Your Honor, this is a motion on defense counsel. We have reasonable grounds to believe that the defendant is not competent to proceed. We had a confidential evaluation performed on Ms. Mack on 5/14/2019. I believe that evaluation was attached to the motion. And so I guess we're requesting a hearing on that evaluation, on the competency evaluation.
Okay.
There's 20 days.
Ms. Bush, I'm guessing that you're not stipulating to the competency?
The state is not stipulating, Your Honor.
Okay.
And the state, however, would also put before the court that the BRC courtrooms are not the proper venue to hear a competency matter. There is an open and pending case where the competency issue has also been brought up, both of which the attorney that authored the original motion in Ms. Mack's case represents Ms. Mack in both of those cases. And that matter is, I know I wrote it down, 2018 MM 8111, and I believe
I had a motion here on that case as well, Your Honor, and I didn't know if that was, they were trying to get it set.
Well, that's Judge Duckworth's case, so
Okay.
I don't have the ability to hear that here.
Okay.
And, Your Honor, the state's recommendation and suggestion would be that as that case is, I believe, no, it's not a lowercase number. I was thinking it was a lowercase number, but perhaps the competency matter could be held before Judge Duckworth, because this court lacks the jurisdiction to maintain jurisdiction over this matter, so.
So I'm looking in the 18MM 8111 case, and I do see that the motion to suggest or determine competency was filed in that case on May 20th. And they did the evaluation on 5/21.
And actually, 2018 has a lowercase number.
It's okay, it's Friday. It's the same evaluation, so it's, Dr. Burns did this evaluation on 5/14 for both of the cases. So I agree with Ms. Bush, Mr. Wynn, that
that are heard
the
in the trial.
hearing's gonna have to be set in Judge Duckworth's courtroom within 20 days on the 18 case. And I think it makes more sense to have I think it's Mr. Lightfoot, who's the attorney in that case, have both of these motions set at the same time, since that courtroom down there is equipped to handle that type of hearing. And it'll be in compliance with the 20-day requirement. So, I'm gonna put on the order, to be coordinated with hearing date in the 2018 case.
Okay.
Okay? That way it'll be heard timely, but it'll just be heard with the other case. I don't know if they'll file on this case by then or not.
Right.
Okay?
Mr. Nguyen. Mr. Nguyen. That's Division 82.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.